Hello, everyone. Welcome to another book talk here at Eight Letters Bookstore and Publishing. I'm your host and creative director, Cindy Wong. And today we're going to talk about our newest high fantasy novel, Ang Hunyang sa Daang Ginto. So today makakapanayam natin si Jem Son Cayetano. So just a little bit of introduction lang sa ating guest for today. So si Jem Cayetano, matagal na siyang writer ng Eight Letters. Kasalukuyang nagtatrabaho sa isang kilalang kumpanya ng tsokolate, biskwit, keso, palaman at powder juice. Yan, guess what na lang. So kahit mahirap ay sinusubukan niyang huwag mag-addict masyado sa Mobile Legends upang makapagbasa at makapagsulat ng mga kwento at sanaysay. Siya ang author ng mga aklat na ang Freelancer Kwadrado, so nobela yan. Meron din siyang mga koleksyon, budol at iba pang mga kwentong mapangarapin at romantiko at ang 31 tigi-isang daan na inilathala din ng 8 letters. So, ang kanyang mga kathang, ang abot kamay ang himala, ang idolo ni Ruru at pangarap kong ride ay nagsipagwagi ng karangalan sa Saranggola Blog Award sa magkakaibang taon. So yan yung mga bata pa tayo niya mga 10 years ago, 2018. And also, namimiss niya na daw magbike. Pero nakahiligan niya na rin kahit papano ang motor na hinuhulugan niya ngayon. Ayun, TMI. kapag may oras, kapag may oras siya, ay maaari mo bisitahin ang kanyang mga YouTube channel, TikTok, at Facebook. Ayan, i-search lamang ang workshop ni Jen. Ayan, so jumping naman sa mismong libro, yan yung main topic natin for today, yung Ang Hunyang sa Daang Ginto. Pinakita natin yung book cover kanina. Very, very colorful. Mapapag-usapan din natin yung concept na yan. Ayan, very nice. So, ayun, Jemson, pag-usapan natin ang lupalop ng Mu, si Ilaya, at yung world building behind this. Ayun, kamusta ka? Kamusta ka dyan kung nasaan ka man ngayon?
Okay naman. Thank you for that, Cindy. So, nasa bahay ako ng magulang ko. Bumisita kami ngayon kasi nanganak yung kapatid ko several days ago. So,
Congrats!
dito na ako. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Uncle Jem. Okay.
Diba?
Ito, let's deep dive na agad sa ating sa Ang Hunyang sa Daang Ginto. Ito, what are your thoughts? Baka dito sa mga mambabasa o nanonood sa atin ngayon, nabasa nyo na malamang yung blurb. So, matinding world building and yung mga rules dito sa mundong binuo ni Jem. Pero gusto kong alamin, Jem, what are your thoughts on the idea that power comes from taking life? So, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Yung tema, how does this team influence Ilaya's character development? So si Ilaya, siya yung nandun sa harap sa book cover. Ayan, maybe you can share some thoughts about this.
Mhm. Okay. So, even if nakaset siya in a fantastical world, I think yung human nature is just the same. So, dun ko pa rin siya ibinase. Yun yung concept na plinay around ko. So basically, before you gain something, or yeah, before you gain something, you have to get something muna or take something. So, ganun din dito. So, parang ang point is up to what extent kaya ng taong tawag dito, kumitil, pumatay, or to forcefully take something para, para lang mag-gain ng power, para maging stronger, para mag-ascend, kung ano man yung ambition nila sa buhay. So, yun yung pinaka human nature na ine-explore nung nobela. Ayun. And on how it influences Ilaya, I guess, tawag dito, so that's the norm actually. So that's the norm. And with every norm, palaging merong characters or merong tao na medyo iba mag-isip. So I think Ilaya is one of those people sa mundo ng Mu. So she's one of those people na, wait, parang hindi ako agree dun sa norm. And siya yung, I think for me, medyo active sa pagkontra. Hindi naman active sa pagkontra, pero she lives her life different from the expectations. Yung iba kasi, for example, there will be people na would not agree with the norm din. Pero hindi naman sila gagawa ng something talaga. Yung alam mo yun, intrusive thoughts lang nila. Pero si Ilaya is one of those people who let their intrusive thoughts won. Parang ganun siya.
So, kumbaga, siya yung masasabi nating rebelde. Kasi, 'di ba, parang society natin ngayon, gusto mo siyang baguhin, pero alam mo na it's just in your thoughts most of the time, or maybe yung mga keyboard warriors dyan. Madali lang kasi mag-type, madali lang pero syempre, taking the actions, yun yung turning point, pwedeng maging turning point. Kilalanin natin, kinikilala na natin si Ilaya, pero saan ba siya galing at bakit ganito yung naging background niya? Pwede mo ba siyang ipakilala pa?
Okay, sige. So si Ilaya, ipinanganak siya doon sa isa sa mga, we can say, poorest tribes or villages sa lupalop ng Mo. So ang name nun ay Sanlipi. So pinanganak siya sa Sanlipi. And apparently sa Sanlipi, walang pinapanganak na hunyang for more than 30 years or 30 years. Basta 30 years walang pinapanganak na hunyang. So merong desperation sa side ng ng Sanlipi. Because having a hunyang be born to your tribe or to your village, that means a lot. So may explore pa ayo, hindi ko i-spoil, pero there's a lot of implications of having, a capability to produce hunyang sa mundo ng Mu. So it could be political power, it could be economic, social power. It could wield you could wield those powers if you have a hunyang or a capability to generate hunyang. And walang ganun yung Sanlipi. So merong desperation and pinanganak siya doon. So in a way, she symbolizes hope, nung nalaman nila na meron siyang ganong ability. And her decision to not be your usual hunyang na mag-hunt ng malalakas na animals and creatures. Parang in a way pinapatay niya yung pangarap nila actually. So, ganun siya. Ayun. So yeah, may pagka-rebelde. It is not her intention to be a rebel din naman. Pero talaga lang hindi niya i-force sa sarili niya yung mga bagay na hindi niya gusto. So that's one description of Ilaya. Ano siya? Strong-willed, actually carefree din. If you look at her physical appearance, medyo siya yung stereotypical strong female warrior, pero hindi siya imposing. That's the difference. She's wielding weapons like spears, knives, shields, etc. Pero hindi siya yung klase ng tao na strong because she wants to prove to people that she is strong. It's more like she's strong and she wants to be strong because she wants to live as carefree as she wants. So um so yun yung yun ng personality ni Ilaya actually. Hindi niya i-impose, hindi niya gustong i-prove na better siya sa It's just that gusto niya maging strong so that pwede niyang gawin yung mga bagay na gusto niya, pwede siyang makatulong sa ibang tao as much as she wants. And maybe she has that belief na kapag nagsipag siyang mag-train, for example, magsipag siyang maging mas malakas na warrior, maybe she can compensate kasi nga hindi nga siya pumapatay ng animals, 'di ba? Maybe that's the way na she identified para ma-compensate niya yung lack of transformation. Ayun.
Ayun, kaya pala kakaiba siya kasi doon sa tribe na yon for 30 years walang pinanganak na hunyang. So, I guess there's kind of like a pressure in her somehow, pero at the same time wala ring ganong influence from the outside, from the bad hunyangs, I think. Ayun. Pero yung hunyang nga pala,
Walang hunyang. Sa loob
oo.
ng SMBP, walang hunyang. So ang pressure
Mm.
from other Hunyangs manggagaling na kapag lumabas na siya ng Sanlipi, parang gano'n.
Oo, ayun. So parang ano 'yan 'no, kung sino yung mga mas nakakaimpluwensya sa'yo, yung ano ba, yung mga nasa within your community ba or yung paglabas mo ng community. Tapos, just a little bit of information din para sa mga nanonood ngayon. Yung Hunyang, ito yung mga shapeshifters.
Hmm,
Oo, ayun. So, FYI. Pero, Jemson, aside from Ilaya, meron bang mga iba pang characters dito na pwede nating ipakilala without spoiling too much?
okey. Meron naman, yeah, actually, merong isang character na that can compete for the role of the main character. Yeah, so siya rin yung pinapakilala ko sa mga postings ko before, si Lam-ang, 'yun. So, si Lam-ang, he was named after the famous, epic, so biyag ni Lam-ang hero, so si Lam-ang. And, funnily enough, dun sa story dito sa novel na Hunyang, gano'n din yung story niya, like named talaga siya from a famous hero. So parang meron pressure na 'pag may nakikita siyang ibang tao, "Uy, kapangalan mo yung ano, kapangalan mo yung hero." Parang kasing tapang mo ba siya, kasing lakas mo ba siya, gano'n. So laging may gano'n. And what's interesting is that he's the complete opposite of that kind of person. So hindi siya physically gifted, hindi siya strong, hindi siya hunyang, normal na tao lang siya. Duwag siya actually, so matatakotin siya. But parang he has to find ways to prove na he can be known, it can be known outside of his name na Lamang. So parang he has to use his wits, yung talino niya to come up with ways to help people, and to prove na he can be a good leader. So in some ways, may instances na parang, uy, parang ang ganda ng story niya, parang mas interesting. Di naman hindi mas interesting pero it can compete. So if not better, or as interesting, or more interesting, it is as interesting as Elijah. So may ganun siyang context and he's one of my favorite characters din talaga, si Lamang.
Oo, kasi pwede namang tamarin ka sa paggawa ng mga characters at pwede mong sabihin, like, kinuha mo na lang yung totoong lamang. Pero this time around, kapangalan lang. And then,
Ah,
yeah, I can see where this is going. Ang galing. Ang galing. Kasi madalas yun eh, no? Sa mga high fantasy or mga fantasy novels dito sa Pilipinas. So kapag kumukuha sila ng mga character like from yung mythology,
mm,
Philippine mythology. And madalas, hindi na nila binabago. Kumbaga, yun na yun. Because they want to stick with the norm. Pero anyway, hindi naman to sila ang kapangalan niya lang. So, okay lang din. Oo. Ayun. Let's talk about naman yung world building process mo. I can see there's a lot of thought that got into dito sa paggawa mo ng nobela. By the way, this is like a 400-page novel. So, at ito ay book 1 pa lang. Paano to? Kakaiba to sa mga madalas na ginagawa mo. Kasi before, it's like very, very short, very short stories, sanaysay, 100 words. And then this time, I feel like you're really stretching yourself. Or matagal na ba tong gustong lumabas? Ngayon mo lang pinagbigyan?
maybe parang baliktad, Cindy. Parang instead of stretching myself now, feeling ko kino-contain ko siya before. Oo.
Oh,
Kasi, for example, yung mga short stories ko, yung mga 100 word stories, ginagawa ko kasi sila, primary reason na sinasabi ko talaga kung ba't ako sumusulat ng gano'n kaiksing kwento is because maraming ideas na lumalabas sa isip ko and alam ko na hindi lahat yon may susulat ko ng mahaba or in the longer forms of 'di ba, of literature. So parang way ko yon to make sure na yung ideas ko, in a way, ma-produce ko pa rin sila. That's why, sige 100 word stories na lang. At least ma-release ko yung concept, ganyan. Pero yung tawag dito, yung potential na kasi I'm a very imaginative person talaga ever since. And parang noon ko pa pangarap sumulat ng, ng something out of nothing. So, alam ko na capable akong sumulat ng mahabang kwento. So, ng fantasy novel. So, pangarap ko talaga siya matagal na. And I think this time, I was able to pour out everything, all ounce of creativity from my body to the medium. So, it's it's like ano, it's a dream come true for me na makasulat ng ganito.
Oo, pero, okey, good to know na yun nga baliktad pala. So, kino-contain mo siya dati, ngayon you're like unleashing the
Mm,
powers, within.
oo,
Um,
medyo.
so medyo yun nga, may times ba na ano, nauubusan ka na kasi nga ina-unleash mo na lahat-lahat?
Um, Oo, meron naman. Yeah, it's normal lalo na kung pilit kasi. Like for example, and I think a lot of writers now could relate, especially yung mga nagko-create na ng content in social media, 'di ba? There will be times that you would feel na parang parsado yung pag-isip ng concept and idea. Doon mo mas mararamdaman eh kapag you are required. So hindi naturally nagfo-flow. And then pinipiga mo na yung utak mo, tapos wala pa ring lumalabas na bago. So I think yun yung mga instances na ano na mafi-feel or nafi-feel ko na ay parang tama na today. Wala nang ilalabas.
Okay, so 'pag gano'n nagmomotor ka na lang, nagba-bike ka na lang
Oo, tapos
or
magbubuo ka ng puzzle or nagmo-Mobile Legends, ganyan.
ayun, okay. So, okay, balik tayo ng konti sa story.
Okay.
Pero bago na yan, gusto ko lang din i-remind yung mga viewers natin to get a copy of Ang Hunyang sa Daang Ginto. Available na yan sa aming website, sa Shopee, sa Lazada, and soon sa aming Gumroad, yung mga ebook platforms natin. Abangan nyo yan. Ayan. Nakapost naman yung link sa caption, so don't forget. Okay, down to my last two questions. So, in a broader context, meron bang mga real-world issues do you see reflected in Elias' story about power, choice, and the consequences of her actions?
Mhm. Okay, ayan. I like this question. Ano siya, parang dalawang extremes. So the extreme question. So the first question is basically how far a human would humans go, you know, to gain power or to be, to be more powerful. And at the same time, yung kabilang end naman yan, extremities niya naman yan is how far can one beliefs, you know, go para i-resist, yung tawag dito, yung urge naman. Kasi sa case ni Elijah, parang madali kasing sabihin for us na mali kasi pumatay, 'di ba? Even if hayop yung pinapatay mo, some people would say na hindi equal yung 'di ba, yung value ng lives nila. There will people
Mm.
that will say na equal yung value ng lives ng tao sa hayop. Madaling sabihin for us na madaling na maling pumatay. Pero at up to what point mo kayang i-resist yung gano'n? Like if for example, something is harming you na and your loved ones, parang nando'n ka pa rin ba sa side na hindi pa rin ako magpapatinag, gano'n. So parang ano, it's, yung beliefs mo hindi ka ba magko-compromise? Wala bang point or limitation na parang isa-sacrifice mo na yung beliefs mo? So parang yun yung ano, yung dalawang questions na yun kasi yung naghihilaan. And that is very much applicable to the real world. Ayun. Especially the first one talaga kasi there are other for there are there's a wide range of, types of powers, 'di ba? That people can wield. So influence, wealth, political power, yeah, all of those things. Um, Yun, and you cannot attain absolute power without really taking something, 'di ba? It's like matter. It can never be created nor destroyed. So it's there. The power is there, and before you can take it, you have before you can gain it, you have to take it from somewhere. So, ay, parang na ano na ako, parang na tawag dito, parang for example, sa Pilipinas, those, DPWH, 'di ba, issue, 'di ba? Money is a type of power, 'di ba? Nagkamal ka na ng maraming pera, up to what point ka kukuha, 'di ba? Wala bang limitation? Yung hunger ba, yung is it really insatiable, 'di ba? So, ayun. Yun yung primary issues na maiko-connect mo dun sa ano. At least sa book 1, there's a lot more that is coming, especially sa book 2 tsaka sa book
Oo.
3. Pero sa book 1 talaga, it's about that. Yun yung pinaka-focus niya.
Ayan, very, very exciting yung book 2 and book 3 na upcoming. So, okay, Jemson, so as a publisher, kilala kita na, sumusulat ng mga sanaysay. Although yung Ang Freelancer, it's more of like a mystery novel, diba?
Mhm.
So, pero naririnig ko pa rin yung boses mo dito when I was reading Ang Hunyang sa Daang Ginto. But I thought it's a more powerful voice na kahit kasi nga, maybe because it's high fantasy, but also because ano din siya, it has so much storytelling in it. So, may tamang pause, may tamang turning point, etc. Pero ano ba, para ba sa mga darating na story ni Ilaya? Si Ilaya pa rin ba yung main protagonist sa mga darating na libro? Just a little bit of glimpse kung anong nasaan na tayo ngayon, ano yung dapat naming i-expect. Or kung si Ilaya man ang mag-a-appear sa susunod na mga libro, ito ba ay paglaki niya na or will there be more character development? Ano ba yung mga pwede maghintay sa atin?
Ayan. Okay, wait. Medyo tricky yung question kasi baka mag-spoil ako. Especially sa book 1. Pero, sige. Yung book 1, it was really focused on world building talaga. How does the concept of Hunyang's work in the world of Mu. And yun yung finesse nila Ilaya. From the time na nag-travel siya, umalis siya mula sa tribe ng Sanlipi, papunta dun sa destination nila Lamang. It's like a revelation of the world to them. They were so immature. That's all I can say. They were very immature and not everything went their way. you know. Yun. So, yung book 2 and so yung ano siya, highly focused on their perspective yung book 1. The book 2 is like it's the moment na okay. So ganito pala ang nangyayari sa mundo. So yung parang ni-reveal sa kanila yung world. The book 2 and book 3 would really be about how they would tackle that world that was revealed to them. So yun yung magiging focus nun. And how will they be active participants? Will they be passive? But to confirm, yes, si Ilaya pa rin yung main character. There will be a lot more characters that would come and help, and villains and allies. But si Ilaya pa rin, nandun pa rin siya.
Ayan. Which is actually a good choice. Gusto ko rin itanong kung bakit female protagonist, no? Pwede bang sabihin kung bakit?
Pwede, kasi I think maganda yung sagot ko dun.
Sige,
Wala lang.
go.
Wala lang. It's so random. 'Di ba? Parang there's no political, social agenda to it. I just realized, what if babae yung bida? Yun.
Oo.
Yun. And I would really love to write a female character na even if that person appears to be strong, is hindi siya yung what do you call it? Hindi siya toxic na tao. Kasi a lot of people, when they are strong, they can be toxic and bully. Or bias to what they're saying and what they're doing. Si Ilaya, she just really wants to do things her way na as much as possible hindi siya makakaabala ng ibang tao or hindi siya aabalahin ng ibang tao. Medyo matigas yung ulo niya, pero not in a way na nai-impose niya sa iba yung beliefs niya. So for example, it's her choice na wag pumatay ng mga hayop just to gain power. Hindi niya nan ipinipilit sa iba na, "Uy, gayahin niyo ako." Hindi siya gano'n. Ayun, gano'n siya.
Okay, ayan. Salamat sa pag-share, Jemson. At syempre, maraming salamat for gracing our book talk here at Eight Letters and sharing all about ang Hunyang sa Daang Ginto. Ayan, we're very, very much looking forward to book 2 and book 3. Ayan, so sana yung mga viewers natin ngayon, the next thing that you should do, must do, is click on the links and of course, purchase a copy of the book. Ayan. So, Jemson, saan ka ba namin pwedeng i-follow?
Ayan, puwede niyo akong sundan sa, Facebook, sa Instagram, tsaka sa TikTok. Same name, Workshop ni Jem. You can also search for Jemson Cayetano, lalabas din naman. So, nagpo-post ako dun ng updates, sometimes book promotions, nagpo-post din ako ng 100-word stories. Medyo matagal na yung last, pero I'm trying to find sometime ways para makapag-create pa rin kasi marami pa ring random ideas and madali lang naman isulat. I think I just have to find a more sustainable way of posting it para makita pa rin ng mga tao. Ayan.
Ayun. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you for watching the Eight Letters Book Talk and hope to see you again next time. Bye everyone. Ayan, salamat.